After leaving from New Zealand 1 week ago, I'm now more settled in Santa Monica, California. I'm at my ex-partner's place and organizing my stuff. I'm supposed to be out sometime, but so far I can't stay, so I'm arranging everything so that she can live her life and I can live my life. We may be good friends, but the future is unknown. As I spent time here for a week and opening up some of the books, it was like meeting my old friends that I missed. And I picked up Daisetsu Suzuki's book and many others, including Picasso and whatever around in this room. I'm so happy that I have encountered lots of people and the books and so forth. Even Osho, an infamous guy in India, I found him somewhat interesting. And the point I like to share is to live your way, your own way of life. I know there's a song by Sinatra or Paul Anka, I think is the composer. I heard from him directly. And one conclusion after 1 week of spending here, feeling like a cat trying to figure out what's going on here and how I may find my way to live here and then into the future. My memory is fading away as I get older, but some of those from the books and stimulating comment is very deep in my mind, and I can see my life has been reflecting to those. And in new environment, your mind may find a way to relax or sort things out. And I believe that's has been happening for the last 1 week. And therefore, this idea of living life your way is fundamental, perhaps. One point that I can share is that everybody's got their way. I think it's the nature's way that we have this, we call it natural distribution, normal distribution, that not everybody is living the same way. Every individual is different. There's certain distribution. Some are masters of painting or philosophy or invention or investment or management. Others may be more of a master of dealing with the cat or taking care of the house. All important, or focus on sports, surfing. Some call it peak performance, that they chase for that. My view may be somewhat unique to myself as much as your view may be unique to yourself. After all, we are here on earth from generation passage of the human, and sort of helping each other, although we may fight each other to find what I may call the middle way as a human. But each individual go through the same process of seeking for the right path for him. And my summary is that I can see, this could be delusion, okay, but this morning I felt, for example, Thomas Alva Edison. I remember a day when I was perhaps 8 years old. I read the book of Edison, and in there was the phrase which says 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. That's his way of seeing. I think that was the way he wanted to live as an inventor. But that idea is very applicable to many other instances, that what you really like and you want to pursue it, because that's where your energy can be better distributed or focused. And you have more persistence in doing so, as in the case of Edison. But whether it's the inventor or others, it's similar. I thought of Immanuel Kant talking about the intuition and conception. I think that was the way he characterized. So as opposed to the perspiration and inspiration, he was talking about the perspiration perhaps may be related to using the rational mind, and the intuition is the spark of awakening or insight. So relationship there is that the inspiration is important, but you have to have the concept of backup or rational mind or rationality to back it up. Otherwise, intuition may be lame instead of accurate. So it requires lots of effort and experiences to build up the wisdom, so to speak. My book, Results from the Heart, represent the process of originating the energy from the heart. So, My Way, the song from Sinatra, and if you look into the lyric, he lived his way, whatever the case has been. And the source of that energy is what I wanted to figure out or describe in the book I called The Results from the Heart. The heart is the origin, the source. So my way, Edison's way, or Picasso's way, well, Picasso's case is what was the word? He said, I do not seek, I find. It's very profound that the seeking mind is the mind. And if you use the mind too much, you don't find. So he just find. And the inspiration comes. For the inspiration to come, he used the word like a parrot of blood. All the painting is the result of all the effort and experience that's coming out. So it's kind of like awakening and expression of the heart, the source of who he is, in his way of expressing it in painting. So I use the concept of the Edison or Frank Sinatra or the Picasso, Immanuel Kant, and my book, and all pointing the same direction of, let's say, I once said to my son, find what you really like, and if that helps the society, that's the way to go. That's my word for him when he was 17 or so. And by that time, he developed his own mind, so to speak, and to live his life. I'm very stubborn. So I thought I can't say much to repeat whatever I think I can contribute for him. So that was my last word. And ever since, he went on his way, perhaps failing and injured, and then stand up and all of that. I heard many of those, but that was his life. I couldn't say anything more. From 17, now he's 33 or so. After 6 years or more of absence of not talking, because we don't talk much, actually at all for that 6 years, I called him up because of my coming to California, and I wasn't sure how long I may stay and what's the next time. Because I'm fond of living in New Zealand, and I thought California, looking at the situation, I was not so inspired. That view may have changed a bit because everything changes, but still, because of that, I felt I need to talk. And we had a wonderful conversation, and this week I may meet him again. He said he's going to Costa Rica to live because his work his starting up a company can be done any place in the world. So the world is changing. And if he goes to Costa Rica, and if I stay most of the time in New Zealand, that may change, but we won't meet. So every minute we spend time could be very important, especially at my old age and my memory is fading. I just want to assure where I came from and how I live, and to see my way of living makes sense. As much as I feel deep in my heart, results from the heart, the idea that is connected. As much as I share that thought about eating the apple, knowledge, again, at the Garden of Eden. I use the term my way and nature's way, and it's kind of like a nature's way, the law of natures that prevails before humans develop the worlds and the good and bad and dualistic way and the mind pursuing things. Not necessarily bad, but if you do it wrong, the mind occupied state is not so good. So I guess if I can point one thing in this video or voice memo I'm doing, is the use of the mind. And all I said about Picasso, Edison, or Immanuel Kant, and the books I read from Daisetsu, also Vipassana meditation, which I haven't shared, but just briefly saying that I got this awakening experience in the year 2000. And there, the spiritual teacher Goenka was talking about the Snare of Mara. You may gain some euphoric, wonderful peak experience, whatever you call it. But be careful about the Snare of Mara, pointing that some unknown desire may pop up and drive you for, let's say, ecstasy in meditation, or blissfulness. So you get back to the seeking mind. And there's the trap. As much as Daisetsu mentioned that Zen has a way, but there are many traps that you should be able to identify and navigate your life. So, in summary, all these comments, inspiration I got, is living within myself. Although my short-term memory is fading, the important part seems to remain, and it's like a meeting my old friends, like I said. When I can confirm the basic process of life, the way I see it and feel it and experienced it and found the meaning in it. Again, the process of life, way of life will be different for each person for good reason. But in my case, reflecting my life, my way, and capturing all the words that I encountered, countless hours I spent, and still going through and confirming and living and finding the wisdom or source of creativity and connected to the source of where we came from, I came from, that remains strong. And I want to keep assuring and making sure that I don't get to the trap, including the snare of Mara or some delusion. So, not seeking, but finding. As Picasso said, painting is stronger than him. It does what he wants, the painting wants. And that's a very Zen-like expression that life, it's something that itself wants to express, the need to seek for it. If we can identify us connected to the source of where we came from and live with that idea. A lot more perspiration and inspiration. It's like a calm and quiet mind and the wisdom. Lots of things are happening in the world, and I feel and see, and I'm to navigate following the way I find it meaningful. And this is just a summary after 1 week of being in a bit different environment from New Zealand, but refreshing my memory and maybe old man's saying, just stuck with this view, but checking and balancing, I like to call it, and assuring from all the angles, um, and find the passage into the future. Good luck, take care of yourself, have fun in the process. Let's move on our own way, hopefully connected to the source, the principle, and live our life well, helping with each other. Thank you.